Hi, welcome to a Buzzin Chat Show here on Buzzin Pattaya, and I'm delighted to say that this is the first chat show we've done in quite a while. Haven't had so many questions sent in. I think mainly that's because Discord seems to be answering all of those for you and you're connecting up with each other. If you haven't joined Discord, there is a link in the description below. Check it out. Go jump over there and have a look. So maybe it's because I guess, sadly right now it seems that you're not able to get over here maybe as quickly as you were hoping for. But don't lose the faith. Keep going. We will get there in the end. I know it's a tough journey right now. I know it's a disappointing journey with all the goalposts keep being moved every 5 minutes, but we're going to get there. So hang in there. And if you haven't joined Discord, guys, get over there. Have a look. It really is good. All right. So today's questions. Thank you very much for those of you that have sent them in. The question I got is, what's the hotel guest protocol? Are enhancement options safe? What about the prices? Where do we think the prices are going to go? Phones and laptops, buying them over here. And is it a good idea to go to the village with your girlfriend or your newfound love of your life? So guys, thank you very much for sending them in. And if you do have any questions that you find maybe we can't answer on Discord, please send me an email, 247pattaya@gmail.com, and I'll happily cover them off as I can. My dogs are here. I'm up in the village at the moment, so I'm up in my home. And the dogs are roaming around, so don't be surprised if you see them scurrying about doing their thing. All right, so question number one then, hotel guest protocol. The question was asked me, how do we deal with taking girls back to the hotel, etc.? What's the kind of like the process? So the first thing you want to do is just make sure that your hotel is guest friendly. Now, I would safely say that maybe 95% of hotels here are guest friendly, but never say never. So it's probably wise just to check and make sure that they do allow guests to come back to your hotel. Generally speaking, most do. Some will charge you a joiner fee. So if you do bring someone back for the evening, you will maybe be asked to pay a joiner fee, and that can range from like 300 baht up to like 500 baht. Some of them do charge a little bit more, so be very careful. Just make sure you've covered that option. In terms of how the process works, it's very, very straightforward. The girl will be asked to leave her ID card at reception, and that's a really good thing that you want to make sure does happen, simply for the safety aspect. But basically, they'll come back. You'll just go and get your key to the room, and then she'll leave her ID card there. Maybe she'll have to fill in a form. It's just the hotel's safety net of knowing who is and who isn't coming through the door. It's a bit sunny today. Now, once they've left their ID card, obviously, you do your own thing kind of thing. And then come the time when it's time to say goodbye, generally speaking, what most hotels will do is the receptionist will give you a call just to make sure everything's okay, there's no issues. Now, don't be lulled into a false sense of security in terms of when that phone call happens and you're like laying there thinking, yeah, everything's good, no problems. Take your time, okay? Take your time. Just say, just 1 minute, please. And just check for any valuables, money, wallet, phone, computer. I know it's not really a nice thing to think about, but just be on your guard. It's better to be, forewarned and then you're forearmed, aren't you? Just be very, very quick in checking your belongings and just say, yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much indeed. And then what the hotel reception will do is they will give the girl back her ID card and she can leave accordingly. So don't be embarrassed to just say, just 1 minute, please, and then just check stuff. The receptionist is not stupid. She'll know what you're doing. She'll know you're checking. So please take that opportunity just to make sure that everything is as it should be. And then the girl will leave. And then the next day, just repeat the process or whatever it is that floats your boat. Just go with the flow. But that's pretty much how it works. Number two, are enhancement options safe? So by that, what we're referring to are the gels and the tablets that you can get out here that will increase your entertainment value. Is that probably the best way of saying that? Well, I don't know. But basically, be very careful, guys, okay? Certainly with the street hawkers. There will be guys riding around on motorbikes with little flip-up cases, and they will think nothing of saying to you, hey, mister, you need... And there will be all kinds of options in there from liquid gels to tablets, etc., etc. If that's your thing, each to their own. I don't have any issues about whatever it is you do, but just be very careful. I've indulged. I've done that part. So I find the tablets to be less offensive than the gels. The gels tend to leave headaches, give you a headache in the morning. From a personal point of view, I'm not saying that that's everybody. I'm sure, guys, if you've got any experiences that you could share, please drop a comment below. But in general speaking, be very careful, because if you do go OTT, and I know people that say, oh, I've nailed 5 sachets, woohoo, let's go. Guys, be careful, because you could put your heart into overload, and you could cause yourself some problems. Me personally, I would never buy off of the street sellers. You don't really know whether they're copies, etc. like that. They do sell copies, so be very careful. I would recommend going to maybe like Tim's Pharmacy, which is on the Avenue. It's a small place right next door to, I think it's a 7-Eleven, or it might be a family. I think it's a 7-Eleven. Right on the very corner of the Avenue Mall on 2nd Road. There's a small pharmacy there. He's very, very well known, very well respected, been here a long, long time. And generally speaking, the goods that you get across the counter are fairly safe, if not very safe. So, go for it, but just be very careful, guys. If you've got medical conditions, heart things and, all that kind of stuff, blood pressure, just be very careful. It's very easy to get carried away, because they literally are 2 a penny, and you can buy them. They're so cheap, and there's all kinds of different things. So, guys, if you've got anything that you think works, please, in a roundabout way, share it, but don't be too explicit, because obviously I don't want to get bounced by YouTube. So please, but share away. So, but just be very careful, guys. Just be very, very careful. Now, here's a question for you. Here's a question. The prices. So the question I was asked is, do I think the prices of the beer and the girls, etc., in the future will rise based on what's been happening here? And I'm going to say a few things. So number one is, people are asking me about the girls. Well, what's going to happen with the girls? Are they going to go off and do their own thing, etc., etc.? Naturally, right now, there is a huge, huge network of freelancers, because the bars are closed. However, when the bars reopen, I genuinely do believe that the girls will return back to their place of work for a lot of reasons. I think the girls will go back because, number one, 9 times out of 10 in this kind of industry, they're fairly loyal to their employer as such. Yes, you do get the odd girl that's going to bar hop. That's the nature of the game. But generally speaking, a lot of girls will always have loyalty to where the bar is that they're working. Secondly, and this goes back to my chat about mamasans, they call the mamasan mare. Mare means mum, and they regard her as being like their safety net, their protector, their go-to person. So, for your mare to be there, they will always go back to her and say, I'll come back and work with you, mum. And also, don't forget, the mamasans all talk amongst each other. So, you don't want a bad egg in the basket, because they'll soon sift you out. So I think the girls will return, no problems with that. In terms of prices of beer, I don't see that being an issue. Look, the bars have had a catastrophic 2 years. There's no issue, ifs or buts about that. But I don't see them opening the doors and say, right, let's ramp the prices up, because likewise, they're all going to be competing for your business. So I think, the shoe will be on your foot rather than on their foot, in terms of if bars price themselves out of the market, well, then people just won't go there. So I don't think that will be an issue. Regarding the girls themselves, I don't think it will increase in prices, because I think, again, they kind of, we sometimes it's easy to be disrespectful and just cast them aside and say, oh, they're just the girls that work in the bar. They're very shrewd operators, these girls. They know the score. But likewise, they'll be looking to try and make a buck. But likewise, so will their friend next to them. So, they're not going to be silly. There might be a battle between the bars as to which girls work where, for those that are looking to move and to join a new bar. Maybe there might be, well, he'll pay me this amount of money per night, and what do you pay? And they'll get into that kind of war. But I don't think that will affect us. I don't think that will affect you. I think that will just simply be a process that will go on behind closed doors. So in terms of the actual prices, no, I don't think things will go up. I think the prices will pretty much, if anything, maybe, possibly go down a little bit, because people will be vying for your business, because they need you over here and they need to fill up their empty accounts that have been destroyed over the last 2 years. So that's kind of like where I think with those. I don't think you'll notice a huge increase in any prices in any way, shape or form, really. I don't think. Obviously, the price issue will then be relevant to the exchange rate at the time. And, people keep saying to me, oh, I remember when it was 70, I remember it was 80, etc., etc. Yeah, the good old days, but sadly, they're gone. So, now I think it's, at the time of making this video, I think it's about 43.7. We did have a little phase earlier on when it went up to 45, nearly 46. So, it does fluctuate. And of course, that does impact you. And again, on top of that, you've got all these additional costs now that are going to be implied for you to come over here. So it isn't going to be as cheap as it used to be. But then is anything, you know, the price of property in London? I remember I could buy a flat when I was a kid. My biggest mistake in life was I could buy a flat for £22,000. Believe it or not, a flat was £22,000. And I actually asked my mum about that, and I said, "Mum, I said, like, how's that work?" She told me how much I have to repay, and I was like, "They got to be stupid. I'm not going to pay 3 times back with a mortgage. I'm not doing that." That same property now is over £300,000. So, you know, it is what it is. Pattaya is getting more up to date in terms of pricing around the world, and the girls are. So, you know, yeah, it's not as cheap as it used to be, but then is anywhere else. Phones, laptops, buying them here. I have to say, in all honesty, be very, very careful. If you're making a significant purchase and you're going to buy yourself a laptop or a mobile phone, you know, we are very, very well known for the amount of copies. We're very well known for the amount of, they're not a copy, but they are a copy. So be very, very careful if you are going to be investing a lot of money into, let's say, a laptop or something like that. We do have some good outlets. You know, you go into Central Festival, you know, we've got some really good, solid brands in there. Even avoid the mass counters, but go to the big areas. They have laptop places, you know, Dell stores and things like that. Is it any cheaper? Truthfully, I honestly don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I wouldn't be able to say on that one. What I would say is, though, you may have a few issues in terms of, like, especially a phone. I believe if you start moving phones across different countries, do you not have to get it unblocked and all those kind of issues? Obviously, the language, it may be a language software might be in Thai rather than in English, and then you've got to start, you know, changing it over to your own language. And some things may or may not be able to be translated. So, again, be very, very careful on that. Also, if you do buy a phone or a laptop over here and then you go home, what happens if you have a problem? You know, if you have a problem with it, you can't exactly just walk into your local service centre and say, right, can you sort this out for me? You're going to have to then figure out that way. And I'm guessing the warranties and the guarantees, I don't know if they're transferable across other countries. I really don't know. But, you know, guys, if you've bought products out here, please share your experiences. You know, was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? Did it work out well for you? Did you save yourself any money, or did it actually cost you more money? You know, what was the outcome? But please, you know, share that information down below, because, as I say, you know, I buy my equipment here, but I'm here. And if I have a problem, I just literally go straight back and say, hey, guys, there's an issue, and they fix it for me. So, again, on that one, you know, I need your help on that, please. But I'm not sure they're actually cheaper anymore. You know, some of these phones and that are a lot of money, you know, 20, 30,000 baht. So they do add up. But then I don't know what the prices are back in England. Last question. Always save the last till best. Is it a good idea to go to the village with your new girlfriend? I'm going to say no initially. I'm going to say no initially. And I'll say the reason why. It's easy to get swept up in the emotion of things in terms of, it's a novelty. You know, you've met your newfound love of your life, and she's saying, can I go back home? I want to go see my family, you know, grandma's ill or whatever, you know, usual stuff. The problems that you're going to have with that is you are going to be showcased, and you're going to be showcased both as a person and as a financial catch. And you're also going to be isolated if you can't speak the language. So if you're here on, say, like a 3-month tour or a 2-month tour or a month's tour, and, you know, your newfound girlfriend says, hey, can we go back to see my family for a couple of days? Truthfully, I would suggest you probably don't. And I'll tell you the reason why is not only what I've just said, but also the fact is, you know, what's the durability of this relationship? Is it something that's going to progress, or is it something that's just going to fall to the wayside, etc., etc.? There are many different variables that you've got to take into account. So if you do come here for a month or a bit longer, and you head up to a village for, say, a few days or a week, is that something you really want to do right now, or is that something you could do on another trip if your relationship progresses? You know, again, when you do go up to the village, you've got to get used to all the things like I've mentioned in previous videos. You know, the toilets, you know, they're not the standard toilets that you're expecting to use back home. The food, you know, the food is very different. You don't have a lot of fast food outlets unless she's lucky enough to live in one of the big cities. But if she's living in a village, you know, you've got a very steep food change coming your way. In terms of sleeping, you know, you might be sleeping on a mattress on the floor, etc. You know, these things do happen, and they're quite common. So be prepared for those. But would I suggest you go up to the village on your first or second interaction with your newfound love? Truthfully, no. Only because I just think, you've got better things to do with your holiday than waste it doing that kind of thing. And also, don't forget, you are going to be showcased around. This is my new boyfriend, and he's got a lot of money, and he's going to spend it today because I'm going to extract it out of his wallet. But, I'm only being honest, guys. You may disagree. You might have been here for your holiday and gone up there and had a great time, and that's fantastic. No issues there. I think my dog's going to try and shout at the cat. They're them and cats. But yeah, it's just, I think, let your relationship progress a bit more than whatever it is, if it's been a week, a month, or, 6 weeks, whatever, and then decide. But when you do go up, guys, be prepared. It's a big culture shock. It really is. But it's a great fun. It's a great way of exploring what is the real Thailand and not what we are in the postage stamp here in Pattaya. All right, guys. So hopefully that's answered the questions. As I say, please, as always, the beauty of the Buzzin community here is that you guys share your knowledge, share your experiences, and share it with others so we can all learn. Guys, jump over on our Discord group. I keep saying it because it really is progressing. There's a lot more going to come once things reopen. I know fatal last words, when they reopen. But when they do reopen, I will be bringing so much more into Discord. A lot of the bars are going to have their own page on there, so they'll be able to update you instantaneously about what's going on, who's working their parties they've got, etc., etc. There's so much to go there. And also, there's a wealth of knowledge. 6,300 people are in there. Many of those people on there are experienced expats, they're experienced travelers, visitors to our city. So, they've got a huge amount of knowledge they can share with you. So please, guys, jump on that and have a look around. And likewise, if you haven't, please check out our YouTube members area. If you do join up, you get a Buzzin ID card. Please send me through a photo. And on that, you can then go into areas that will give you like a free Buzzin shot when you buy your first drink. Some restaurants are going to give us discounts at places like Key Visa, and Want to Go Insure will give you 10% off of any policies you take out, etc., etc. So there's a lot of benefits there if you do become a YouTube member and join our YouTube channel. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed today's show. It's been a long time. It's been good, actually. It's nice getting some questions and doing something different. And I plan to do some live walk-arounds coming up in the not-too-distant future, so fingers crossed they'll work as well. All right, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and please, as always, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.